Welcome to Nacrius Cloud Academy, a journey to Pinnacle of Success.
In this video, we are going to learn what is cloud computing. As I have already covered in my last couple of videos, that upgrading your skills with the right technology is very important in today's IT job market, and how you can build that right value proposition for yourself to grab that dream job. When it comes to finding your dream job that offers you a salary that is beyond your expectations, or even to reach pinnacle of success in your career, it is important that you keep yourself upgraded. Gone are the days when learning one coding language was enough to survive in IT job for years together. The kind of revolution IT industry is going through in 2023, it is mandatory that you develop those niche skills. I would highly recommend you to watch those videos, links of which are given in the description box below. Now coming to today's topic of discussion, what is cloud computing? Cloud computing is the on-demand delivery of IT resources over the internet with pay-as-you-go pricing. Now this is very technical definition which you will get in Google search results. Let me break it down for you with a simple example. Imagine that you are a fresh graduate and have got placed through a campus recruitment drive in a company which is not in your hometown. If that city where you are deployed has only one option, that you need to buy a house to stay there, then in that case you need to pay a big amount to buy that house for you. That is a huge upfront cost and also comes with the risk that climate of that place might not suit you, or you might not like the job, or they might terminate your appointment. Now what will happen in that case? All your upfront cost that you have put in buying that house is wasted now. You need to either wait for a suitable price for the building or sell it bearing a loss. So instead of buying a house, if you are given an option to rent a house from someone who owns it and pay for them for the number of days you stay there, then if something like above unforeseen situation arise, you can vacate the house and pay for the number of days you used it. In that case, you will not have to bear loss. Similarly, imagine that you are having a great idea and want to start up a startup business and implement that idea and sell it to customers. For this, you need to set up the infrastructure first, which means buying computers for your engineers to work on developing that software or application for you, or you need to buy storage for maintaining your data and buy networking components such as switches, routers for setting up this business. All this you need to set up before even selling this idea to the end customer. And what is the risk involved? The risk is that your idea might not work, and if it doesn't work, the upfront investment that you have put in setting up the infrastructure or a business is wasted. Instead of this, if you are given an option to use the infrastructure like computers, storage, network devices that other companies own, and you pay for using it for the number of days required, and in case your idea doesn't work, you can stop using that infrastructure and stop paying for the same. That means you pay only for what you use. On the other hand, if the idea clicks and is making good business and expanding your customer base, then you have to simply go to the provider of infra and ask for more resources. That in turn means you have the flexibility of either closing your business if the idea doesn't work, or expanding your business if it does. Same like if you are doing good in job, you will plan for a bigger house with more amenities and pay more for that house as per your use. Now going back to the definition above, cloud computing is a way for cloud providers to deliver services such as compute, storage, network, security on demand for which consumers pay as per their use. Now this is becoming very popular among startup business owners, and also it is being adopted by bigger organizations. Now, why is this called cloud? The simplest explanation which I can think of relating to the real life is, as you will not know which cloud is giving you that raindrops, similarly in cloud computing world, you will not know from which hardware you are getting the compute capacity or which storage box has your data. This is masked from the end users. In the background, everything is on a virtualized platform and many customers share same hardware in the backend. That is the reason it is working on a shared tenancy model. Similar to how you share the same rooms in a PG but will have your own cupboards which no one can access. In cloud computing world, it's provider's responsibility to safeguard our data, for which they build the infrastructure according to security best practices and standards defined worldwide. Now, what benefits that cloud computing is providing, in addition to no upfront cost investment required to be done? There are 5 benefits of cloud computing. They are scalability, server storage, data security, data loss, and maintenance. Now let's understand each of them with examples. Scalability is ability to add or remove resources without much efforts. Like if my business is not doing good, I can release all resources and stop paying. On the other hand, if my business is expanding, then I can add more resources just with a click of a button and pay for the additional resources. Second is server storage. In cloud computing world, I have been given access to infinite storage. I don't have to worry about the storage I might require for my business. It will be expanding infinitely. Third is data security. Cloud computing provides us with the ability to deploy our solutions on the infrastructure that is certified with all security protocols and authorities. That means the cloud providers have the security certifications which is required for any business to have a trust on them that their data will be safe and secured. Fourth is data loss. Cloud computing ensures guarantee of my data. In fact, cloud provides 11 nines durability as their SLA. That means even with 1 billion objects, you would likely go 100 years without losing a single object. That means my data is never lost. Fifth is maintenance. There is no overhead on customers for maintaining the data or infrastructure. As I mentioned above, cloud works on shared responsibility model. That means I share the responsibility with cloud provider for the data I store on cloud. To explain this, let's go back to our rented home example again. The owner, when giving the house, hands over the keys to us. Now it's our job to lock the house and keep the keys safe to ensure the things that we have kept in that house are not stolen. Similarly, in cloud, we have to keep the credentials we are using to log into our accounts maintained with the cloud providers and do not share those with any unauthorized users, else our data can be stolen. Now let's understand what are the service models on cloud computing. There are 3 service models in cloud computing. That is IaaS, which is infrastructure as a service. Second is PaaS, which is platform as a service. And third one is SaaS, which is software as a service. Now let's understand each one of this with a rented house example again. IaaS, which is infrastructure as a service, contains the basic building blocks of cloud IT and typically provide access to networking features, computers, and data storage space. The customer can use and configure these services as they have more control over the infrastructure and are capable of changing them as per their requirement. For example, it is like an unfurnished house without any furniture, where you can add your household things as per your taste and requirement. Here you will have more control in what kind of furniture you want to add to your house and modify it according to your taste and requirement, and also maintain the same. Let's go to PaaS, which is platform as a service. Platform as a service removes the need to manage the underlying infrastructure and allowing you to focus on deployment and management of your applications. Cloud service provider will take care of maintenance, patching, capacity planning of the underlying infrastructure, which in turn helps you to be more efficient. For example, it is like your semi-furnished house, equipped with all basic necessary household items required to lead a comfortable life. In this case, you will not have much control to change the household things, but makes your life easier as you already have what is required. Third is SaaS, which is Software as a Service. Software as a Service provides you with a completed product that is run and managed by service provider. With a SaaS offering, you do not have to think about how the service is maintained or how the underlying infrastructure is managed. You only need to think about how you will use that particular piece of software. For example, it is like your fully furnished house, where you are provided by the owner of the house everything that is required. Though you will not have any control on changing the household items, but it makes your life much simpler and easier if the house is having all that you need. Now that we understood service models, let's go to deployment models of cloud computing with examples. What are deployment models? Deployment models are nothing but where you are deploying and running your business and who has control or ownership over the underlying infrastructure. There are 4 deployment models available. They are public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud, and community cloud. Let's understand each of them with example. Public cloud deployment model. In this deployment model, the infrastructure required to set up the business is completely owned by the cloud provider, and the customer will pay for using the same. The customer in this case has no ownership on the infrastructure. The underlying infrastructure might be shared among different businesses. It is similar to a rented apartment, where the ownership lies with the owner of the apartment and you pay them rent as you use your portion of the apartment. This apartment might have other blocks of flats which are given to different families and you need to share that building with them. Now coming to private cloud deployment model. In this deployment model, the infrastructure is completely owned by you and you hold the ownership of the infrastructure, along with having more control on the underlying components. But you need to bear that upfront cost of setting up the infrastructure and maintaining the same. Now it is similar to your own house where you have complete ownership. In this case, you have to spend upfront cost in buying the house and bear the recurring cost of maintenance. Now third one is hybrid deployment model. In this deployment model, part of your services is running on private cloud and some of them are running on public cloud. This is done by most of the business to gain the benefit of both flexibility and ownership. It is similar to taking a room on rent for studies even if you have your own house. The reason of doing so might be to concentrate more on studies which might not be happening at home, to gain the benefits of both. Last but not the least, we have community cloud, which is a deployment model designed for a group of companies who share the infrastructure for their own individual businesses. These businesses or organizations share the upfront cost of setting up that infrastructure, as well as they bear the recurring cost of maintenance. For this, an analogy can be buying a house by a group of students for studying, where they all share the cost of purchase of that house and enjoy shared ownership. Now let's understand who are those infrastructure providers or house owners who can provide their resources on rent. There are 3 major players in this category. They are AWS Cloud provided by Amazon, GCP Cloud provided by Google, and Azure Cloud provided by Microsoft. Now that we got a fair idea about what is cloud computing, in our next videos, we will be learning each of these cloud providers in detail with live examples. With this, I conclude my today's session. Thank you for your time and I hope I was able to deliver value for your time. If so, support me on this initiative of making the journey to cloud exciting and simpler. Join hands with me in reaching out to as many people as possible who are looking for such information by subscribing to my channel. I will talk to you again in my next video. Until then, take care and keep spreading the joy of giving among people around you. This is Taslim signing off for now.